There you go. We know of a race of people that know how to talk a very special kind of language. They can speak the machine language. And we call these people developers. And we call them like this because they build something. They build wonderful artifacts, virtual wonderful artifacts. But this talking is not that easy. It actually can be done only in writing, and it's strict, it's organized, it follows patterns, and it requires a great deal of analytical and generic thinking and abstract thinking. Many people have tried to understand this language, and few got there. And there's a good reason why someone would try to do that, because these wonderful artifacts, they're very valuable, and there are enough people that would pay a good deal of money for them. We also saw that once someone becomes a developer, that person loses interest in the normal talk, the human-to-human talk, because that talk becomes imperfect. It's less precise and sometimes actually a bit chaotic. So that's why other people learn how to talk with the developers. They would understand normal talk, find needs of someone who would buy this artifact, and then they would translate it to a developer. And when you talk with a developer, it's best if you are precise, concise, say all the details, but no more. And this setup actually worked for a great deal of time, where people will understand what buyers want to buy, and they will translate to developer, and developers would create masterpieces. At the same time, there was a gap that was becoming larger and larger. If a person that's not a developer would want to discuss with the developer often would not understand everything. And at the same time, the other person would not understand the developer. And this, at some point, became an issue. Bill is like that. Bill is a developer. He loves writing to the machine and creating these wonderful pieces of work. He got so good, actually, that more and more people were interested of his work and wanted to discuss with him and wanted to talk about his work. And the translators said, no, they advised against it. They said, Bill, he's not that good to talk like we do. He likes more to talk with the other developers or to the machine directly. But they insisted, and they say, no, we have to meet. How awesome would it be to talk directly with the builder, with the creator of that masterpiece? So after insistations, in persuasion, Bill said, okay, I want to present my work. And his presentation was close to terrible. He didn't find the right words. Sometimes he would stop mid-sentence and then go back and say he wanted to say something else. He would use machine language words, and other people did not understand what he wanted to say. When you talk with a machine, this is fine. You can change things and following the rules, you can communicate like that. But in normal human-to-human language, this becomes hard to follow. And the other people started asking questions, and they want to know more. And even if it's unclear, they insisted to say it again and again and repeat. And Bill, he started having second thoughts. Maybe his work wasn't so good. Maybe he's not doing such a great job that he thought he was doing. And he said, I hate it. I don't want to do it ever again. But the other people found it quite interesting to talk with the creator directly, to see what he's thinking, and to give feedback so he can improve his work and bring even better artifacts. And they said, we want to pay this kind of money, even more money, if we can talk with him and give him the feedback directly. And now what will Bill do? Should he run away from this presentation, find an obscure place where nobody wants to talk with him except other developers? Could he stop doing his work just because he has to do this presentation? What will Bill do? Who from you usually volunteers to do a demo? Who, if someone asks inside your team, who wants to do the demo, who raises his or her hand? 1, 2, 3, no, 4, okay. There are some people, I usually find that people that don't volunteer or don't raise their hands are part of one of the two categories. One, they hated it. They don't want to do the demo because they're scared, stressed. They have their reasons. And one, they're very good at doing demo and think they have to leave room for someone else to do the demo because they already did it for multiple times. Sometimes I'm in the second category as well. And I'm contributing to the problem, which is nobody wants to do the demo. So if you don't see anybody raising their hand, probably it's not good to do demo. I heard demos are quite stressful and you get anxious and you're fearing the moment when you do demo. Not only that I heard it, I felt it on myself. There are a lot of bad things that can happen when doing a demo. Someone didn't push the last update. The environment has an issue. There are a multitude of things that could go wrong, and you're there facing doing the demo in the first line. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do this because of these reasons. Also, who does the demo is an ambassador for the work of the team. If you do a great job, the image of the work is improved. If you do a terrible job, the image could go down a bit. And there's this pressure, this high responsibility plus public speaking, plus you may not have the right skill. That's why people don't usually want to do the demo. But what would if this wouldn't be the case? If you would know how to do a decent demo, if everybody in the team would know how to do a decent demo, and everybody wants to do a demo, what would happen then? What kind of problem would we have then? Who do we pick since everybody wants to do the demo? Maybe we'd have to invent a game like the one with the best story for the demo will be the one that's going to demo. Or will we have to invent like a round table so everybody has a fair chance to do the demo since everybody wants this? Would definitely be in a different situation. Now, I have two good news for you. One, most of the clients are already used to terrible demos. It's almost like a fact that some people know when a developer do the demo, not only developers, but let's go from there. It will be terrible because they don't know how to present their job. So if you're also going to do a shitty demo, don't worry, you're not the only one. The second good news is that the first good news doesn't matter because after this presentation and following some of the advices that we'll talk here, the more the better, you won't even do a terrible demo. You'll do a good demo, and you might be in that situation when we have to pick who's doing the demo because everybody wants that.
Sounds good.
That is good. Now, demo, I don't think demos would be seen like something easy or nice or fun, although they can be. I don't think they should be seen as an entertainment for others to see a developer struggle, although that can be as well. I think you should do the demos because they're important. They're an important moment when you get feedback for your work or for the team's work. And it matters how the demo goes. So I think most people or everyone should do the demo because of this. Go through this step because this step is important, not because it's easy or nice. Now, I will start with some general advices that you could do easily in theory, and it will already improve your demo process. One, use a structure. This is important because it may relieve you from some anxiety, because you would know step one, follow step two, and so forth. It's like it's easier, and you have a plan, and it might seem that you already know what you're doing because of this structure. If you do this continuously, you may want to change that structure after a while. You get used to the first one, and then you may want to change a step or put something else in place. So continuously do this, and you'll get to a better situation, a better demo. Two, like what you're saying. I think this is the first place to start. You would want to say something, and there's a way you say it, and you have to feel good with how you're saying it. Now, this doesn't have to be, I don't know, state-of-the-art talk. You won't do a TED talk, but you would talk with someone else. So say it in a way that you think it's fine, at least fine. You can start imagining that you will talk with a colleague. You don't want that discussion to be, I didn't understand a thing you said. You just start there. I'm speaking, I'm presenting something. This is what I'm saying. The end. So start from here, and this, again, you'll improve it over time. Over time, say, I want to change something. Maybe I want to spice it up. Maybe I want to include a joke. Maybe I want to change, because this like changes once you do more demos. And three, probably the most important for this foundation, rehearse. This is the most important from my point of view, because it strengthens the first two, and it strengthens the demo. You might have an idea of how it would go out. You may have a structure, some steps, and say, I think it's going to go well, but then it doesn't, and then I'm in trouble and never want to do it again. But you can skip a lot of this by rehearsing beforehand, and it will just turn out to be better. Now, if you, for some reason, need to leave this demo now, this presentation, and these are the only things that you remember, they're already a good start. They're already something that if you follow continuously, you'll get better at doing demos. But if you have a bit more time, I'll present 3 categories of how your demo could look like if you follow the advices under each category. And I'll call them like this. So your demo could be not bad, great, and something else. Now, for the first category, the not bad, this is like the category to get you started, to make a decent demo so you can have more confidence, want to do another one, and eventually get good feedback that will encourage you to do even more demos. What's one thing that's making demos not be so great? That's killing demos. Want to guess? Can be multiple things, of course.
App doesn't work as expected.
App doesn't work as expected. Excellent. Any other ideas?
Stuttering. If you stutter.
Yeah. I want to say face palms, but actually the source would be, yeah, the app where you're not doing the demo as expected. So first thing I would start with is rehearse. But I'll add another word, exactly as you would in the demo, as you would do the demo. Now, even if I wrote exactly with big letters, even if I'll emphasize it exactly as you would do the demo, even if I say it a third time exactly is the most important thing, and I would even place a bet with you that will not do that unless you already know what I'm talking about, and that would be cheating. You won't do it exactly as you would do it in the demo, because there's an advantage of how we think that we can project. Right? I think the demo would be like this, and I'm imagining how it would be, and say, now I have the exact picture of the demo. But that's not right, because you cannot imagine all the small details that could be in the demo. So if you have an idea of the steps of the structure that you go through, and say the demo would be like this, you're correct, but that's not exactly as you would do the demo. If you would speak your demo out loud, that's even better. You're more prepared to do the demo, but that's not exactly as you would do the demo. If on the demo you would use Zoom, open Zoom and do the demo. If on the demo you would do share screen in your rehearsal. If on the demo you would do some exactly specific steps, use those words, those buttons, every step, like you would do the demo. Do it a few times. When you do the demo, you won't have those surprises of, oh, this doesn't work. There are some crazy ideas that exactly on the demo moment, someone says, now I'm going to push this button. I never pushed it in my rehearsal, but I think it would be cool to push it now. And that button doesn't work. And then you have to make something up. Actually, I'll talk with my colleague, and at the end, you say this demo was shitty. Why? Because you didn't do exactly as you would be in the rehearsal. So I would start with this to get a not bad demo. Rehearse exactly as you would do it in the demo. 2, say it like what you're saying. Now, most of the people, most of the times, we like to hear a story. If you can tell a story, that would be a nice way to get their attention and to have a nice speech. Now, telling a story is not an easy thing. So here for the not bad, which should be some easy steps, like doing the rehearsal exactly, or doing the demo, it's easy to understand, easy to do, you just have to do it. Tell a story also has an easy recipe, some things that you could follow. And here I would start with the details of coming prepared for the demo, like dressing nicely. You don't have to put a tie or something, but showing your camera, showing you don't have something that you just picked that's, I don't know, not clean or whatever have you. If you prepare this kind of details of how you would look like and how would you do the demo, these details add up, and the other people, together with the rehearsal, they would see the effort you put in before the demo, and they will enjoy it more. But beside this, so these are important, the content that you use, it's also important. So if I'm part of the audience and I'm seeing someone demoing something to me, I can understand a lot of abstract things. Why you log in with test@example.com. It's a test account, I get it. And then you would go and press a button that says A, C, D, F, G, something, something. But you'll like say, actually, this is a test button, but in reality, it won't say like this. And they say, okay, I remember that as well. And then we get to a list of things that's test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. And the description is ACD, dot, and other special characters. And you explain, here will be the real content. And I have to memorize all those things. So I say, okay, so if I'm actually one of the other users, that's a real user, and I would go there, it's too complicated for me. If you want me to understand and picture how it would be if I'm using what you built, use content as real as possible, as close to reality as possible. You can even go a bit more and use content that's suggestive. For example, if I'm using an account that's an admin, I can use my name plus admin at teenslice.com, and I'm suggesting that I'm logging with an admin. It's part of the story. Then I'm going to some place where the content is as close to what I would find it if I'm using the product. Then I can understand. You're telling a story of what you built. And it's easier for me to understand it just because you use the right content. So this is important, and it's an easy thing to do. Again, easy to understand. You have to go places and create that account, create that content, so you have something to show. Especially if this is not a practice you're already doing, it's something that you need to build. But once you get there, you're telling a story just by going through the steps. You don't need to do other things. And three, let's start with an easy structure. Present yourself and what you're going to demo. So present yourself as the feature, then do it. Present the demo, the feature. And three, ask if there are any questions or comments. 3 steps, that's it. And this is not nearly as rocket science. It's like the smallest thing you could do, but it already gives you some confidence because, first step, hello, I'm Dan, I'm from the Thin Slices team, and today I'm going to present something, this feature.
And we're supposed to pause them. Can you see my screen?
Actually,
Wrong question.
yeah, you start like with that as a joke, but it could be something good because the lack of feedback, especially if your audience doesn't have video, doesn't have anything, could increase your anxiety. So you don't know if you're doing something good or bad. And if you say, can you see my screen? Someone is saying yes, it's like a minimum interaction that already makes you feel a little better. It's like, all right, I did something good. I asked and someone answered. Not something big, but your body doesn't know it. So if you get these interactions, okay, this step done, I can do the next one. And I'm presenting myself. Done, I'm already on fire. So good at this. And then you do it, and you do it with rehearsal and with relevant content. You can even keep it brief. So if you do it like you would like it, probably you won't go too far with examples and other things because you might get bored through your own presentation. And then you ask questions. It's like, wow, that was so clean. That they didn't do anything special, but the demo was decent. And these are simple steps to follow. And if you do them with the foundation, you will improve on them because at some point you may want to do a different content. We'll say my name plus someone that has no idea what he's doing at thinslice.com. I say, ha ha ha. So you can get creative here. I'll stop because Alex has a question. Oh, damn it. I cannot hear anything.
You're on mute,
No,
Alex.
no. Not sure if I have a question, but I have a comment maybe.
Yeah.
On the first part where you rehearse exactly as you would deliver it, I would also create a checklist that I would follow during the demo to make sure that I not forget a step. We don't always have enough time to prepare it. Like you don't have one day to prepare it, you have a couple of hours. So I would create a checklist for that.
I hear checklist. Yep, great idea. Now you removed one item from their list as they could have get here by doing the 3 steps and say, I should use a checklist. That's a good structure. Thank you. Thank you for your advice.
Thank you for letting me jumping in.
Welcome. Okay, so if this is not bad, what would great mean? One, in the way, I'll start with the telling a story. Let's say tell a story. One way to tell a story that would spice it up a bit is to sell the feature. So you build something. Why is that thing awesome? You're not just presenting it, you're selling it. Now, this could be something difficult to do because maybe you don't like what you don't find useful what you did because you don't understand what you did. Maybe one need would be to move a button a bit to the left. Why is this relevant? But you don't need to answer this question at the beginning. Someone told you to do that, so you can ask that person. Why is this important? You don't have to believe in it. It's important that person believes in it. Say, why am I moving this button to the left? Because people couldn't find it. Now it's way easier for them to navigate it. Okay, that's a good reason. And now in the demo, I say our customers, the users of this application that I built, this artifact, will find it way useful to use it because the buttons are in the right place. And now I show you why. And it might be something you don't believe in. But there you go. If the audience believes in, you'll tell the story. Now it's way better. Why? Because I moved this button to it, but you sell it. Sometimes it's you get more attention from the audience if you start with a question. Especially if it's one that the answer is not so easy. Why aren't people using our application so often? Why did they leave way faster after they got there? Nobody knows. This is one of the toughest questions for then they might not expect the change, but you got them interested because they cannot find the buttons in our website. Oh, now here's what we did. And they're interested because you start with a powerful question. Okay. How can we make our app better? These are creative ways to catch attention and to keep the audience engaged and curious, and eventually get to the last part, or the part in the middle where you ask for questions and for feedback. And then we get back to the important scope of the demo, to get feedback. We don't do it because there's just a step that we don't understand. We do it so we can improve our work. So if a demo gets questions and gets comments, that's a good demo, because you got the useful information of how can I improve my work. And all this, we're doing it to get there, to that point. If you get curiosity and you get attention from the audience and they will start asking questions because they want to know more, then that's a good demo. And this would be a great way to do it. And here you can check for other practices, do like this, and then here you might no longer like it, and you say, how else can I improve it? How else can I get the attention of the public, of the audience? You search for public speaking and what else on the internet, and you'll find ways, and you'll try them out, and you see what's working, wasn't. Did I got the attention of the public now? Yes. How? Did they ask anything? Did they comment anything? Did they laugh at least? Right. Okay. Now I'll get back to Rehearse. And to the point where you'll do exactly as you do in the demo. Even if you speak it out loud, even if you use a Zoom or Google Hangout or what tool you're using to present online, or you do it in live, that's still not exactly what you do in the demo because you don't have an audience. It's way easier to do it on yourself and eventually record it and hear, I would change something, then record. It's only you. But if you do it in front of a crowd, and the best crowd to start with is your team, that's an extra thing. It's someone else that's listening, so I better do a better job. So rehearse with your team would be the first starting point. And practice getting feedback. What was missing? What could I say different? What do you think it was too long, boring? Did I say it too fast? Sometimes when you rehearse a lot, you go and questions. And wait, what? So rehearsing with a team, it adds value. It adds value because they will listen to it. They want to know all the rehearsing you've done by yourself, and they will give you feedback. Say, this you can change, this you can improve. That's my perspective, but you have information that you otherwise wouldn't have. And you can talk a lot of crazy ideas of how you can make your demo better, maybe how to tell a story better. So this rehearsal part that's going more to the do it exactly as you do in the demo is with your team. But then again, you can practice your skill by doing random presentation. They don't have to be on your project. They could be like I'm doing now. They could be, I don't know, public speaking if you're going there. So you would train how to present something to an audience, and then you get back here, you rehearse with your team, and then you have the demo. And then your audience, the client, will see all these details. You can tell when someone prepared for a demo or if they didn't. It's just very easy to tell. So this would be rehearsing and free the structure. Now I found it one interesting piece of information is to start with the context. It's still answering the why question. Why is this what you build? Why what I built as a developer important? Start with the context, which could be presenting some objectives or milestones that the team is contributing to. And what we're building now, what we're showing, there's a progress towards that objective. If you have this, present them. Show the objective progress. Sometimes maybe you're presenting something more technical. It's not, I don't know, it's not a user interface, not a place where people come and tap or click on buttons. It's some integrations. Those have a sense too. Those are valuable too. They contribute to something. Maybe you have to do 1,000 of this information and you've done 10 more. Show a number. We've made progress. Here's how. Now we're at 110 from 1,000. We made progress. Show the context, because this will catch interest. People will be more attentive to see what you're going to say, because they presenting the value translates in the buyer's mind that their investment is worth something. So they say, we've invested for you to build this because, and now you come back and say, this is worth something. So present the context, and this would make it more appeal. Then do it, show the thing, the features. And then here I would ask questions at the end or in between. If you're presenting something a bit more complex, pause and ask for questions or comments. And then at the end, ask for questions as well. Sometimes if you go through this creative process and think about how it will all go on the demo, you may find interesting questions to ask here. So you say, how can we make our customers, the customers of the application, be more engaged? And this is the main question. Then we start, and then we get to a point. What will we do from here? And you can pause. And people, even if they don't answer it, they will think about the question. What can I do? Tap that button. Say, oh, did anybody think of tapping that button? Yes, because it's easier now, because it's more in the center. It may turn out like a joke because the change is not that big, but it does keep their attention. If nothing else, because your demo is a bit out of the ordinary. It just and that's why they may find more focus. But if you ask questions, if you get 2 or 3 questions to ask, you may encourage the audience to ask questions back, because it's like you're encouraging an interaction. See, what do you think here? I didn't answer this one, but maybe I answered the next one. Now, what should I do here? I didn't get to answer this one, but maybe I'll answer the next one. And then me, for part of the audience, I feel like I'm invited to participate. And at the end, I may comment something, even if it's nice, congratulations for the demo, or even if I have a question. If I have a question or comment, that's valuable for the presenter because they get feedback, the developer gets feedback and can do a better job. Questions so far? So I'm doing a terrible job. Comment. Okay. Now I'll present something else. Maybe include this one here, this checklist. Yep.
For the grade, rehearse with teams, does peer review count? In our project, once we create PR, we make a peer review, invite people in our team and present.
They could. This is not so. These are ideas that you would understand and then put them in practice with the objective to get feedback at the demo. So yeah, it's nice to make a nice presentation. So people just say you did wonderful. So that gives a nice feeling. If you include feedback from the customer, that's even better. That's your main scope. So if you do a peer review, and from the peer review, you got some ideas that what you could do in the demo, that's valuable. If in the peer review, you get feedback from the other, like the peer review, it's a small demo itself, yeah, that's already valuable. But if you get ideas of how you could present to the client that you don't know what's in their mind, that's definitely valuable. And you could ask, if you have a back and forth interaction in the peer review, you could ask, how do you think I should demo this to the client? Did you understand? Was it clear enough?
Yes.
So you could get ideas from there to do the demo. You can have like a part of the process. We used to do a step in the think debate code. That's the last step is, okay, now we have a pretty good idea how we would do this. You're at the demo, how would you demo it? Yes, so that's why you can, well, I'm gonna go and show this list of him. But how do you get to that list? Well, I'm logging in, obviously. And with what user? Oh, I don't have a user that has access to these things. So the item is blocked. So that's why the demo could be helpful at the think debate. But it's also a good place where you can rehearse. So I'm going through these steps. Don't skip it. Do it exactly as you do it in the demo, and then you'll improve what you're going to say. Other questions? Thank you. You saved me. Good. Then I'll move to something that I'll call other. Answering some of the questions or the questions that weren't addressed, but they're there right here, so nobody sees. Okay, so I maybe here. What if I'm doing all the things, all the advices, and I have a pretty good feeling about the demo, but something still goes bad? Like someone that I couldn't speak with made a change, the last minute change, and it broke something, and I just find it out now the demo, even if I rehearsed exactly as I would be the demo. Now, one thing that I saw as an alternative to this would be to do a video recording on mute. And at the demo, you would go through it and you'll present and pause, and it gives you the safety space. You would still do a nice demo, especially if you rehearsed it and you can delete it and do it again. So it gives you a safe environment to do the demo. And then you could say, this was a recording, but you can find it here, and you give it a link. If you have an uncontrollable environment and you don't want to risk it, sometimes you want to risk it and you'll wing it. You can find rules. So all these ideas would come from the interaction you have with the team, especially if you rehearse it or if you just talk about it, say, we know that these things could happen. What can I do? And someone from the team could come up, hey, do a video recording. That would be easier. It's not the real thing, but it's close enough. You can invent a rule that says no changes in the demo day. So when I'm rehearsing and I know what I'm using now would be the same thing in the demo, let's make a rule. Code freeze, yes. Not only code freeze, but also deployment freeze. Let's say you have a code, you're not doing anything else, but you think that, oh, this wasn't merged with the other code. Let's do it now. Or just let's do a redeployment so we make sure everything's fine. But that redeployment does not work. And then say, where am I going to demo now? And you do have no. So no changes in general, code freeze or no changes.
Well, you could say that this is part of rehearse exactly as you do the demo, because the environment, environment should be the same as well.
Yeah. So this definitely adds up, and you could get there by doing this rehearsing exactly. These two ideas could come in handy when you have to interact in a way with people from other teams. So I'm doing exactly like this, but someone else doesn't know that I did it exactly like this. And they think it's a good idea to update the environment. And they helped me up a great punch when I went to them and say, no, login is no longer working. I cannot present anything except the errors on login if you want to see them again. So these are nice ideas that from a technical perspective, and you can get way more, like checklist, use checklist for having a good structure and more confidence for the demo. There's also an emotional aspect that you can work on. Let's say I'm going to the demo and everything goes well, and then someone asks me a question that I don't know how to answer. I will freeze. Well, you could rehearse this situation, let's say. There are improv exercises. I heard or found out a nice one when you would go to another person and you would say, I bought you a gift. And you would give that person like a box, that's a virtual box, because there's nothing here. You decide the size because of how you hold it, and say, here's a gift. And the other person takes the gift, unpacks it, and says what they got. So the person that's giving the gift doesn't know. Say, oh, you bought me and you just say what, a plate. Nice. And the other person continues the excitement. Yes, I glad you like it. I bought you a plate because I would like you to serve me in that plate, so I'm special when I come to your visit. I don't know. You just wing it. And if you do exercise like this, and there are a lot of improv exercises, it will go through this scenario when someone is telling you something. What am I doing now? It makes no sense with what I had in mind. Say, yeah, this exercise doesn't make any sense either. So what you're going to say? You'll continue to say something. You could also go back to the team. So the team has a lot of solutions. Hopefully it will work out like I'm saying. Have a wingman or someone that could answer. So someone from enthusiasm will ask a question and say, who can help me if I don't know how to answer? And usually you find people that say, if I know how to answer it, I'll step in. You can even decide beforehand. If I'm doing the demo, but they ask something from the context or why is it relevant or something that I don't know, can I say, I'll ask for my manager to help me out? You talk inside your team, and probably they will say yes. Otherwise, you won't do them. Just saying. So I put in here, have a wingman. So all this packed up with user structure, like what you're saying in Rehearse, you'll get to better and better situations when you're doing the demo. And I believe you'll get to situations where you say, I want to do the demo, you'll have to fight with someone else that wants to do the demo because you want to try some of these things out. And you want to be the ambassador for the work the team did. And you want to get the feedback and then do a better job. So you do it because it's important. Now you might wondering what's here. I don't know either. And I think this space is some place that you would fill on your own, because I presented here ideas that I had or I found out together with the team or teams that I work with, and I completed this advice. But these are not the only advice that are relevant. And when you do this practice and you try out things, you'll get to complete here something else. You might find a way nicer way to tell a story, or somehow else to convince the audience to interact, to give you feedback. And then you create